Recording in progress. Okay. So yes, the idea is that we are going to start in child's pose. If you've got bolsters and things like that, then you can use your bolsters to support you here in many, many ways. And I will show you some of those ways just now. So first way I would suggest using your bolster as a support is by taking it maybe in between your knees and then laying your body down on it, maybe having your forehead on your arms, or you can use a block underneath the bolster and make a little ramp. You can take your head down, or you can take one ear to the bolster, it's up to you. So that's a really nice setup. If you find that your hips and your quads don't like child's pose very much, then you can grab either a block or a cushion and place it underneath your bum and have that as a nice support. So this is me imagining that I've got a bolster under my bum right now. So just find a version of the shape that works for you. And make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure you can breathe easily as well, especially if you've got your face towards a pillow. Maybe think about having your ear to one side and then changing sides a few breaths in. Good. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a big sigh. And another. And we'll begin with golden thread, my favorite pranayama at the moment. So for a golden thread breath, you'll breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, but you just have a little gap for your mouth, just a wee gap open for your breath to escape. So not gaping wide and not a tiny little, but somewhere in between. Imagine that you've got this golden thread pulling itself out. Allow your breath to elongate with every new cycle of inhale, exhale that you take. Notice what your tongue does as you inhale and exhale. Does it tap the roof of your mouth? Breathe in. Does it release as you breathe out? This class is very much focused on the idea of transitioning from one thing to the next. Like thing that we are all transitioning through at the moment, summer to autumn. For some, this is a really easy switch, the best time for some people, and others cling on to summer for wherever the day felt like the first day that really was autumnal. Crispy air. Tip of the nose feeling a little bit chilly. That lovely low light in the evening. Think of your inhale as summer. This excitement, this anticipation, energy. And think of your exhale as autumn. Slow, steady, descending, falling. If you can notice the pause at the end of your exhale. If you can hover there for a little bit. There's something really calm and still about that space at the end of an exhale. And it's that same nice kind of grounding, calm feeling that we get when we finally accept that it's autumn. Let's stay here for another few breaths. Gently start to walk your hands back towards your knees and take a wee seat on your heels. If you've got your bolster between your legs, you can move it off to one side. From here, let your shoulders roll down your back. Take a nice tall seat. You might want to sit on something. Nice. And then from here, close your eyes if you've opened them. And clasp your hands together in your lap, first of all. Think of your hands like an anchor here. And then as you inhale, flip your grip and push your hands away from you and reach your arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, let your hands come down by the sides of your body, in a big arc. Nice, bring your hands back together. Same again, as you inhale, flip your grip, push your arms away from you and up. Exhale, let your hands float down. Two more like this. Clasp your hands, inhale, push away, lift up. Exhale, release. One more, clasp your hands, push away, lift up. Exhale, release. This time, let your hands rest by the sides of your body. Let your shoulders get heavy. Walk your right hand over towards the right hand side. Reach your left arm up to the sky and bow over towards the right. So your left arm can stay upwards or you can arc it over your body, whatever feels better. Press into your right hand. So you've still got stability here. You can bend into the right elbow. On your next inhale, sweep your left arm all the way over to the left. Reach your right arm up and over and arc over to the left hand side. Do one more like this. Inhale, sweep up and over to the right. Arc over to the right. and over to the left, using your breath to guide you there. Come back round through center. Clasp your hands behind your body and take your hands towards the right side of your body. Maybe they hook to your hip or maybe they stay at your lower back. It just depends on the length of your arms. Draw your elbows together and tip your head towards the right. So your right ear is coming towards your right shoulder. So we're going to have a really still practice for the majority of the class, but I'd like you to feel just a bit of heat and energy in that same way that the last few breaths of summer are a little punchy. And from here, turn your chin towards your right shoulder. For some, that might be way too loud, and you can just keep the ear towards the shoulder. And for some, that's going to stretch the place that you never thought you could stretch. Top sides, taking your hands over to the left. And then take your left ear to the left shoulder first of all. Draw the elbows together. Yeah, nice. Again, stay here or turn your chin towards your left shoulder. Okay, release. Let your hands rest in your lap. And if you need to take any neck movement here, do so before we come into some more static shapes. Okay, let's come into tabletop. Grab your block or book or whatever you're using. Bolster is also fine. And take that block down in front of you towards the top of your mat. Nice. Now we're going to take either, we've got two different options to take here. We're going to come into heart melting pose. So the first option is take your forearms to the block, press your hands together in prayer, and let your chest and head lead down towards the floor. The second option, if you feel like your shoulders are feeling nice and spacious today, is to take your elbows to the block, press your hands together, and take your hands to the space behind your neck, or thumbs are reaching towards the base of your skull. If both of those options seem too loud for you, then you can just have your hands on the floor here. There's no need to add that extra height. Very good. And remember, when we're in Anahatasana, our bum is directly above our ankles. Nice. The other thing I should mention, if your block feels too narrow for both of your elbows, you can either add another block, or you can take your hands to a bolster, or you can take the elbows just straight down to the floor. Yeah, good options. Nice. Play around with it. You know what's going to feel good in your body. And maybe fiery poses like this. Really good to keep that continuity of breath. If your breath is all staggered and out of sorts, it's not going to soothe you. If your breath is steady and slow, your body's going to think it's a totally normal shape to be in. And you're going to feel calm. Good. Brilliant, everybody. Good job. We're going to take another 5 breaths here. You're doing really well. Good job. Keep going. Okay. Release. From here, we're either going to lie in child's pose or all the way down on our belly, whatever comes more naturally for you. If you're taking child's pose, send your hands back behind you. If you're lying on your belly, take your hands underneath your foreheads.
Standing in the spot where the last tear fell.
Allow all the sensation to come rushing back into your spine here.
They say I sure wish you well.
It might be that you're still holding the tension of that back bend, so see if you can soften through the shoulder blades. Try and create a bit of breadth in the spine. We're breathing out to the sides of your body.
Memories of you are my nightmares, and my dreams you're standing there. Still I try to wish you well, but I can't feel what isn't real love. Blue confetti falling.
Press yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. Okay, we've got one more slightly spicy shape to take before we become super chill. For this, I would suggest just having any props you've got nearby. We're going to come into dragon, which we never do because it's spicy, but it's going to feel good tonight. So take your right foot between your hands, like a little low lunge, very, very micro, so nothing too mad. And then if you've got a bolster, what I would suggest doing, or cushions or anything, is taking that bolster towards the front of your left knee so that you can relax down onto it. Now, if that feels too high, make your bolster higher, grab blocks or props so that you've got a nice support there. I don't want you to feel like you're dumping your pelvis down towards the ground. And you can take your hands to the insides of your right foot and walk your right foot out a little wider if you'd like a bit more space. We won't be here for too long, I promise. Try and get the top of your left foot on the floor. If you need to take your hands to blocks, you can do that. Some of you might find that you do want to create a bit more of a stretch in the left leg, so you might want to sink down a little more in the pelvis. Just make sure that you're not in a kind of vulnerable state and that things are feeling too spicy here. Flexors, neck sensors, do both. Nice. So some of you, I do a lot of vinyasa with, and those who don't, you might find that you want to come down a little lower onto your forearms.
Tell me where would I go?
Lovely.
Tell me what led you on, I'd love to know.
Promise we're not here for long.
Was it the blue
Like spicy summer.
confetti fragile?
Good job.
Was it about the man in wonder steady going under? Was it the light waves?
We're going to take 2 lion's breaths together here. So take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Very good. And one more in through the nose. Okay. Before we come out of this shape, take your hands or fingertips to the floor, tuck your left toes, start to stretch back into your right leg, so straightening the right leg if possible, drawing your bum towards your heel. Very loud, but really juicy. And then from here, come back either into tabletop, into child's pose, or back onto your belly. We'll do this again on the second side once we've had a rest, and then we're basically going to sleep for the rest of class. Good job. Generally in yin, it's suggested that you hold a shape like that between 3 to 7 minutes. That's not for tonight, but if it's a shape that you enjoy exploring, it's something that you can do at another time. And it's an interesting one for yin because it feels very active and you really have to battle, or I find I really have to battle with my mind when I'm in it. The rage starts, kind of like pigeon pose, I guess. That same shape on the second side when you're ready. Coming onto hands and knees. Maybe having your bolster ready. Take your left foot between your hands. Place the bolster in front of your right knee. And then sink your pelvis down towards the floor, letting that right thigh rest on your cushions or bolster setup. Try and get the top of the right foot on the floor. Remember, your hands can be on the outside or the inside. It's a bit more manageable when they're on the inside, I find. And you can have your hands on blocks if you want, or fingertips. Option to come a little lower, maybe to forearms if you want. If your right knee's feeling a little itchy, you can pad it, or you can tuck your right toes so that less of the knee is in contact with the ground. So on the first side, perhaps this felt a little spicy, a little alarming, maybe energizing. Let's try and make this version, this side, softer somehow. So instead of taking our lion's breath, let's revert back to golden thread. So in through the nose and out through the mouth, but gently.
One more breath. From here, tuck your right toes, press your hands to the floor or blocks, and then start to straighten into that left leg. Maybe you touch, maybe you're going to draw all the way back towards your bum, letting your left toes peel off the floor. And then make your way back into your tabletop, and then maybe child's pose, or maybe lying on your belly. And we'll stay here for a bit longer this time. Okay. Here, walk your hands back towards your knees. Take a little seat on your heels. And then stretch your feet out in front of you. Have your feet roughly hip width distance. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana, forward fold. So before we go there, grab anything you need. I quite like to take my bolster underneath my knees for this. You might want to take your bolster on top of your legs or your cushion. And if you feel you need to sit on a block to give you a bit of height so that your hips aren't too compromised, that's a really nice thing to do, especially if you've got two blocks, you've got a nice wide seat. And to come into the shape, instead of flopping down like we usually do, we're going to use this last little burst of energy to bring us in. So as you inhale, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, let your hands descend down towards your legs. Bow down over yourself. You can have your hands resting on your legs or your feet. You can have them by the side of your body. You can always take your elbows to props or legs so that you can cradle your head.
Allow yourself to become even heavier. How are your shoulders feeling? Have they crept up? Can you let them soften even more? Let's take another 3 breaths. Okay. Start to bring yourself up out of the shape. Remove any props. Until I all the way down onto your back. Have a bend in your knees, take your feet wide and knock your knees into the middle for constructive rest. Let your palms rest down by the sides of your body, facing upwards towards the sky. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to one side. Use your arm as a pillow. And with your free hand, push yourself up towards the seat. Okay. The next shape is going to be a long hold. Like a long hold. If you've got a bolster and blocks, grab them now. If you don't worry, I'll give you another option. If you got two bolsters, grab both your bolsters, because I can do something very nice here. So we're going to create a ramp like we have in the past, maybe slightly differently to how we have done before. If you got blocks, use your top block at the back of your mat on its medium setting, so not the tallest one, it's medium one. And then maybe about a block's distance from that, put another block on its lowest setting. You can do this with pillows as well, instead of a bolster, with books and pillows. And then grab your bolster and make yourself a nice ramp like that. If you haven't got any bolsters, let me see. Magda, are you using pillows tonight? Yeah, okay. Have you got any books or blocks? Perfect. Okay, I'll give you something else. So if you're using pillows tonight, see how it feels setting up a little ramp. And if that doesn't feel good, then just take one of your blocks on its lowest setting. So everyone else using bolsters, ignore this. Take one of your blocks on its lowest setting and we'll come into a back bend here, taking that block, oh, excuse my mic, below your shoulder blades, something we've done a heap of times before. But everyone else who's in the bolster ramp crew, we're going to come to lie back on this bolster. Make sure that you've got the bolster's kind of squidged down at the very bottom of it. So I always like to just kind of punch it down so there's a bit of space. Take your bum as close as you can to that bolster and then start to lie yourself down onto the bolster. And we want our head to be supported here. So if you feel like your head's falling off, either shimmy yourself down the bolster or grab a pillow and place it below your head so you've got a bit of height. And from here, let your arms rest out towards the sides of your body. If they're really high up off the ground, you can have your hands on your belly. And we're going to start with the legs bent for now. Maybe take them into constructive rest, actually. That would feel quite juicy. If you've got a second bolster, however, you can have that other bolster underneath your knees and you can extend the legs. Because we're here for a while, I'm going to give you some variations. We might even end up here in Shavasana. Magda, can you give me a thumbs up if that feels okay? Good. Nice. Perfect, everyone. Very good. If you feel like your legs could take a different shape that will benefit you, you can do that now. So you could extend the legs, you can bring your feet to touch. You could let your knees go wide. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to read a wee passage from a Donna Farry book. She's a brilliant yoga teacher. This book is called The Breathing Book. If you fall asleep whilst I'm reading this, I will be delighted. As you lie on your back, take a moment to settle, feeling the weight of your body surrendering to beneath you. Scan your body for tension, beginning with the head. Soften the skin across your forehead. Let that skin become smooth. Sense into the muscles around the eyes, letting any tension there dissolve with the outgoing breath. Let the jaw fall open and release your temples back towards your ears. Allow the lips to part slightly, relaxing the tongue and all the muscles around your lips. Feel down into your throat, taking a moment to swallow a few times to relax any constriction in this area. As you open the throat, let your exhalation pass out through your mouth for a few breaths, sighing as you do so. Continue in this way slowly down through the body, inviting each part of yourself to relax. When you feel settled, draw your awareness to your breath. Listen to the sound of the breath and feel the sensation of the breath. As you perceive the breath, let the sound or sensation of it draw you inward like the most tantalizing of lures. This listening to the breath has the same quality of rapt attention that you have when you strain to hear a sonorous melody far off in the distance. Let the breath lure you back towards yourself. As you feel yourself entering a deep state of relaxation, let go of even the effort of following the lure of the breath and become the breath itself. It breathes you. Know that you can use the lure of your breath to return to yourself at any time and in any situation. Your breath is an ever-present resource that you can always draw from for rest and replenishment. If you're comfortable where you are, you can stay here for Shavasana. If you feel like the shape is too effortful, or if you know that your body is ready to move into something else, then feel free to change your setup. Maybe remove a prop or two. And when you're ready, make sure you're warm and cozy. Soften any tension in your face. Allow your body to be heavy. Enjoy some stillness for the next wee while.
If you'd like to come back into the room, begin to deepen your breath. If you're feeling sleepy, just stay where you are and block out my voice. Bring your hands onto your belly and feel your diaphragm expanding as you breathe. Take one of your hands to your heart and thank yourself for your effort this evening, for giving yourself permission to rest. Let's take one breath together, breathing in through your nose. Exhale fully. Thank you so much, everyone. Good job. Just stay where you are. I'll go and turn the computer off. Lots of love.